is different in some way, and this one particular person should survive, and these million other people should die. No, it doesn't go like that. I'll just see if he has anything else to say.
All of the future unborn, these generations.
Well, yeah, if you're gonna have a child, you might, you might spawn like a whole lineage. I mean, your kid might have a kid, and he might have a kid, and he might have a kid. Who knows? Again, that's just another huge risk that you're willing to take, because it's just like driving a car or like walking a park and something.
Generations that don't even exist yet.
Well, yeah, but they're bound to exist if you get someone pregnant. Sure, I mean, the baby doesn't exist because it's not born yet. Well, that's ridiculous. I mean, even if I was like, if I was Frankenstein and I was like, well, I'm gonna create the monster tomorrow, but there's no real, I don't have any responsibility because the monster is not alive yet, even though tomorrow it will be alive, but who cares, it's in the future, it's in the distant future. I mean, what does it matter if they don't exist yet when they are going to exist? It's pretty damn likely that they're gonna exist.
That's your goal, to reduce that suffering.
Well, yeah, but it's a huge amount of suffering. I mean,
but that goal puts you in an antithetical position to reducing the suffering of people that are alive.
But how exactly?
For instance,
okay.
the child dying of cancer, saving that child's life, reducing their suffering and saving their life, is almost certainly going to increase that kid is not, antinatalists are the minority position, so that kid's going to go on and have more babies.
Okay, so now I get it. Yeah, that's ridiculous. I mean, if I saved a man from dying, it's not a given that he would rape someone or murder someone or have kids. If we had a law that said don't murder anyone, if we had a law that said no, don't rape anyone, if we had a law that said don't have kids, it would be likely that even if I saved that guy, he wouldn't cause any harm. But and even if we don't have those laws, even if we don't have a law that says don't have kids, it's still pretty, he still might not have kids. It's, I don't know the percentage, but yeah, it's people who have kids, it's not a majority. Antinatalists are a huge minority, but people actually having kids they aren't the majority. And yeah, I mean, that's
etc. So saving a living person.
No, it's I just that's insane. Like saying that. I mean, if it was Adolf Hitler, well, sure, I wouldn't save him because he was bound to create tons and tons of suffering. But an average guy is not gonna be so harmful. And let's say he was. Let's say that kid actually was gonna cause huge amounts of suffering. Then yeah, it would be reasonable to not save him. It would be most reasonable thing would be to euthanize him quickly and painlessly. And because you have some emotional attachment to this, that we have to save him, no matter the costs, then obviously you would be the immoral bastard. I mean, obviously it would, if it was the greater good to quickly euthanize him, then yeah, that would be the right thing to do. You can't just say that, yeah, but antinatalists are against saving kids with cancer. I mean, if that kid is gonna cause suffering that is unjustified, then yeah, well, it's tough shit, but
is a problem because it only means you're more likely to have multiple generations coming off of that are.
Well, it's not likely, but there is a percentage. But if we just had the law, then it would solve all of this. And it's getting better. People are starting to be more responsible, I think.
going to then have all this life imposed on them. And Gary's made this argument before. He's opposed to people having organ donations.
No, 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 no. It's he's saying that I think it was a metaphor that he said that he doesn't want to pay for your organ transplant, which is basically he doesn't want to pay for your fun hobby. He doesn't want to pay a dime for your kids' education, your kids' healthcare, your whatever. So and it's totally reasonable. Like, why should we pay you to impose risks on others? You should at least pay your own money. We should, take away all those subsidies, so it would be, so that it would be expensive to have a kid, and we would force you to pay that money yourself, which would be totally fair. And it would dramatically reduce the amount of people who are having kids. And if you had a kid and you couldn't actually afford it, if you got pregnant and you didn't, and you neglected your responsibility to have the financial capabilities, then we would force you into an abortion, because you can't take we don't want to let you play games with other people's welfare. So but he's not against organ transplants,
or opposed to it just comes up. It flows from the argument that there is this problem where you can't you have these conflicting goals.
No.
Okay,
seriously?
So I think there is a lot of valid arguments to have, and one of the things that antinatalists don't accept is the reductio ad absurdum argument, that their argument is completely absurd.
Actually, okay, so the argument is absurd. Well, you're gonna have to somehow demonstrate that, but well, whatever. I mean, if you're saying that it's ridiculous and absurd, then you're gonna have to demonstrate that somehow. It's I mean, obviously he imagines that his video did demonstrate that, but I hope I poked some holes in it that you can actually see for yourself too. So I hope you respond in some way, like comment maybe, or even make a video. I don't know. I would appreciate some kind of response. I mean, you did respond to my comments, but some of that stuff was quite trollish. Like when I said that, when I tried to explain the deprivation thing to you, you responded by saying, and speaking of ponies, I like brown ones. And okay, then you said the car driving thing as a response to my other comment. Oh, there's someone actually responded to my comment. I hate this YouTube thing when it doesn't. It should tell me if someone responds to me, but it's bugged because it's shit. So I've been going on way too long. So take care, guys, and see you later, and bye.